what, what's happening, everyone? Carmen Denisco here. I just tried an intro, messed it all up. I got my man Christopher Guerrero on the other line. We have an awesome guest today. I got to tell you guys, if you do have young kids in the room, please take them out for now. You aren't going to want to miss this, but we got some great information for you. Hey, Chris, what's happening, man?
Hey, Carmine, good to see you.
Yeah.
We got a special guest on today. I've seen Mark around for so many years. I haven't had really a chance to work with him. Now we got some opportunities. So pretty excited about what we as a group at the UIA have going on. We had a great National Inventors Day, a lot of great guests. I just started launching some of the videos today. We're going to cutting down to bite size so everybody can watch them if they missed that full marathon day. But man, what a great group of people we're putting together on an advisory board, and there's so many new things happening in 2022.
Yeah, it's great in a way, and that's one thing that I want Mark to talk a little bit about is we are trying to move so many things so fast. And, we have so many initiatives going on. It's kind of hard to keep up to us. So I want our listeners, I want our inventors to people know that be patient. But if you need something, reach out to us. But we got a lot of really cool stuff happening. And bringing Mark on is just really the tip of the iceberg. We are going to attack all of the problems that inventors are facing. We're going to give them everything we can. And also, hopefully they'll be able to move their products forward, make some money.
Yeah. And like we always talk about, join up. Memberships are free on the UIA. It's a simple form you fill out. You get an ID and you get access to our entire database. So you're going to see a lot of new things happen each month and all the different shows we're at. So let's start. Let's bring Marc Portney on. How you doing, Mark?
Hey, Chris. How are you, man?
I'm doing pretty good. So let's talk a little bit about you early on and who you are for our audience. And then we'll get into, how can we help the inventor as a group? You as an individual, me as an individual, us as a group, a community. How can we help the inventors?
Oh, that's great. So about 5 years ago, I was on a show on Discovery Science called All American Makers. And it was really, it was a kinder, gentler Shark Tank, basically. So instead of Shark Tank, where it's, do you have any sales? No, well, then we can't invest. This was more like they pitched the invention. We tested the claims. We went from the claims to the focus group, and then from the focus group, we fixed problems that they had, and then we whittled it down to 2 people, and then we had a deal round, which they called a deal round, and then we did it, and it went on for about 21 episodes, 3 seasons, and that led to my website, and then I started to get a lot of submissions to the website. So what I do is I'll license items, I'll partner items, I'll buy them flat out. There's many different ways that I work. I've seen you around, Chris, at just about every affair, everywhere. Our paths just never crossed. I knew who you were. I watch you. I'm a fan. But at the end of the day, I just never said hello. I don't know why. I just don't know why. So I'm happy to be here, and I'm psyched to have a chat.
Yeah, same here. I think just you get so busy at some of these shows, you get wrapped up and you get tied up, and before you know it, you're somewhere else. You're at dinner somewhere, and you don't cross paths. So I'm happy to have you on as well.
Hey, Chris, just let me jump in on this, and I got to tell you, one thing that I did notice with Mark is when he goes to a show, an event, there's a crowd around him asking questions, just basically picking his brain, but he does not leave until he answers every one of those guys' questions. And I was amazed by that, but I didn't want to jump in. Go right ahead.
Yeah, and I mean, that's a big deal. I think, and that's part of what we want to talk a little bit about today, about time, right? How do you manage time properly? So Mark, I know you do a lot of coaching, you invest, you launch products. So talk a little bit about that. How do you interview and I use the word interview because it's important. How do you interview a potential candidate that wants to work with you, an inventor who has an idea that wants to work with you, and vice versa? How should they pick the right partner to partner with? I partnered with Judy, who was an amazing person for the Super Potty Trainer, which led us all the way to Shark Tank, and we ended up getting a deal. So it's really important to select the right person, on both sides. So how do you go about doing that?
Well, let me start with my side, and then I'll tell you a couple of tips that I have to pick the right people that aren't going to rip you off. So the first thing we did many years ago is we set up markportney.com. And there's a submission site. There's a submission button. You click on the submission and you submit your idea. And I look at every single one myself. I do. I have a team, but I look at it because I have a gut feeling about a lot of stuff. I know a good looking submission when I see one, and then I go through them. And like I said before, I license products, so I do hold people's people licensed to me. Sometimes I'm 50% jockey, 50% horse. So if you've got a great item, but you're a bit of an asshole, I wouldn't really submit to markportney.com because you're not going to really get anywhere. Even if you had $1 for 10 cents, I'm not going to do it. There's a quality of life that I have, and I'm not going to give it up for anyone. So that's it. And then or I'll buy it outright. I do all of the above. Behind me, you can see there's a brand, Quick Survive. It's a camping, hunting brand. Not really hunting. It's a fire starter. And we do a great job with it. And things that are in the camping space, I take a real hard look at because I'm able to brand it right away. So those are the things that I did. For some tips for the inventors on how to pick a right partner. Number one, what have you ask them a few questions. What have you done before? It's kind of like a date, really. It's like dating. I mean, you just don't just jump into the sack with the first girl you meet in 15 seconds. I mean, what are your interests? Do you like animals? Do you do this? So, I mean, there has to be like you just said before, Chris, there has to be an interview process. So in that interview process, it's you're finding out different things. The biggest thing that I would look for is, what items have you been responsible for bringing to market? And can I speak to them? I mean, if people get tight about speaking to them, then you got a liar on your hands. So that's very, very important. The other thing is, how current are you? Are you doing it now? Or are you trying to live off something you did in 1985? That's a big difference. So it's all of those things, and use a little bit of your brains. If they're offering you something but they're getting money up front, don't walk, run. What the fuck are you doing? When you get nothing and you have to give money up front, the chances of being scammed are very high. Put it that way. I never charge an upfront fee. Never, ever, ever. I donate hours and hours and hours. As a matter of fact, I get more abused by inventors than I do anything. So, and I'm not crying like a little baby. Don't get me wrong. But you got to be respectful on both sides. That's the way I feel.
Yeah, Mark, Carmine and I did some shows early on. It should be easy to talk about your success, right? Everyone likes talking about their success. When me and Carmine did some early shows on Made in America, I mean, to talk about the process should be simple, right? It should be easy. It's what I do all day long. Getting into retail, talking the process. You should understand it. You should know what it is. You're right. If you run into somebody who's not sure or haven't done it, I mean, how can you pay somebody for services and they've never achieved it? Like, it's almost like you're paying them services to train them on trying to get your product in to retail or to launch it. So it should come natural, like you said. There should be no hesitation. It should come easy. It should come natural. And really, I mean, I think early on it's easy to weed those people out. I mean, it really is.
Chris, there's a new sheriff in town, and his name is Google. You can Google me. Google Marc Portney fucked me. Google Marc Portney scandal. Google Marc Portney. See what pops up. I've been in this business for 35 years. Just Google me. Google a potential partner. If there's dirt, it's gonna pop up. We're not in the old days where I used to call you up on the payphone and say, "Hey, Chris, how are you?" Now I can find where you live. I can find what you like, what you want to eat. It's crazy. So why don't you make those resources available to yourself? and do it. If you got a guy who's charging people, I'm just going to use a number, $1,000 a pop or $5,000 a pop, and then they're giving you a piece of paper for $5,000, you don't think that's going to be on the internet? I mean,
Right.
do it. Not that I'm saying everything on the internet is the gospel. Don't get me wrong. But I'm saying if you see it 10 times or 20 times or 30 times, chances are better than not that you got yourself a scumbag.
Yeah.
That's it.
Right. So now I'm an inventor. I'm coming to Mark. What do I say? How do I pitch you? What do I need to do? Because people love to talk about their products, and they can talk all day, and I still don't even know what it is. They haven't told me. They haven't told me what the problem itself. So what do you recommend there?
Well, I have a couple of things. Number one, the video. No more than 60 seconds. I don't give a shit what you did when you were 8 years old. I don't give a shit. I liked ketchup when I was 8, so I made the ketchup dipper. I don't give a shit what you did. Problem solution, problem solution. And this is what I do. I hate when the ketchup drips on my lap. Okay, what'd you do? I made this thing. End the story. Okay, great. When I was 12, my mother gave me cotton candy and my fingers were sticky. Who gives a shit? And that's the problem. Okay, 60 seconds, problem solution. Submit it. I look at it. If I think there's any teeth to it, and I'll reach out. Believe me, I'm not shy. But just because I pass, now, for instance, I get 50 submissions a week, right? I probably only do 2 or 3 deals a year. So check that out. That's like, what is that? I don't know. I'm not good at math. 2,400 submissions a year, and I do 2.
Yeah, but it's honest. It's
but
honest.
You're selective too, right?
But
so you know you're going to
the point
succeed.
The point I want to make is I'm very respectful. I give them really, really valuable and decent feedback. And just because it's not for me doesn't mean that your item's not viable. Understand that. I'll tell you, no, I'm not in the soft goods business. I don't make shoes. I'm not into shoes. I'm not into clothing. Okay. Another thing I don't do, I don't touch apps at all. If you've got an app, I'm sure it's wonderful, but you got to find a different partner. It's not me. I try to keep the communication clear and concise and respectful. And that's what I do. And that's really the process. Sometimes, I'm not dealing with a full deck. So I'll see a submission and I'll just jump on the phone and talk to them, like call them out of nowhere. And they're like, what? And I'm like, yeah, no, I saw it. It looks cool. So let's have a chat. And I've done it with many, many inventors. And I kind of like it because the response is funny. So it just depends how I hit it. But every single person gets a response, Chris. Every single person.
Yeah, I think that's important. I told that to Carmine too. No matter who it is or what it is, anybody that reaches out on social media, on email, I take the time to respond to each person. I know a lot of people who don't find interest and then don't respond. That to me is just complete disrespect. I respond to everyone. Even after I aired on Shark Tank, I must have got 1,000 emails. I mean, Carmine saw them that night. I responded to every person. I just feel it was important. So let's talk about that now. So now I've got an inventor, showed you a couple of things, and now you have an interest. So what do you do next? Do you talk about are they interested in licensing the product, or are they interested in launching the product? So talk about that a little bit, because that's also a very important path.
Great question. So I'll take a look at it and I'll see if it's viable for venturing, or I'll see if it's viable if I want to license it and get rid of them. But it's a tough call because every item's different. There's certain items that are conducive to licensing. There's certain items that are more conducive because of my expertise. And I'm sorry, I know I'm on the Made in America podcast, but like I'm an importer from China. But I'll tell you what, not to veer off this subject, I've been in contact with a lot of American factories now because of the supply chain issues have actually made the pricing such that I'm able to be more competitive in the United States than I am actually in China. I never thought if you gave me $100 that I'd be saying this one day, but today's the day, and I'm saying it because there is viability to the Made in America now because of the nutso prices that they're charging to come out of China. It's got to be specific items. They have to fit certain things, but the Made in America thing really holds a lot of water now.
You know, Mark, I do injection molding. So as Carmine knows, I do everything in under one roof. So I do my own tooling, my own injection molding, my own packaging, my own warehousing, my own fulfillment. So I've eliminated all that additional, what I call non-value cost, right? You're bringing it to the border, trucking it, having somebody else warehouse it, somebody else fulfill it. So I'm able, that's what makes me extremely competitive. I was competitive before this hit, and now it's incredible because even like when you talk about Super Potty Trainer, Walmart gave me 2 weeks to get it into a store. I was down in Bentonville talking to a buyer. He said, well, I have an opening, but you got to do it in 2 weeks. I didn't have graphics, labels, boxes. I didn't have the resin available yet. And everyone said, yeah, there's no way it's happening in 2 weeks. You know how retail works. If you don't take that opportunity and make something of it, you may not see that again, or at least for a year and a half. I said, we're doing it. So we made it happen. And that ultimately led to some sales that got us on Shark Tank. So it was,
that's the
the door that
that's
opened, I took advantage of it. So yeah,
that's the beauty of being domestic. I mean, and injection molding is a perfect example. Coincidentally, that's what I'm looking at right now is some injection molded pieces, because the minute you take the handwork out of anything, China loses. So, but what if something has to be painted, or you have to paint little eyes on a snowman? Then China kind of beats it out because of the labor factor. But if you're injection molding and applying a label, United States will give you a real run for your money, a real run. And
we're able to do it. We're able to do it with removing the waste in the process. So, like for example, I've got an operator already assigned and costed at an injection press. Well, I'm molding a product that's going to take 50, 60 seconds. What are they doing for that period of time? Oh, now they're working at the press. They're putting pads on the Super Potty Trainer, the label on. It's going in the box. So all of that time is now really validated. It's value add that a customer can see the benefit from. We stay competitive, we can ship quick, and we're cost competitive. So all of that, that's all part of that process.
It's amazing. I mean, Carmine, you're going to be out of business soon.
Yeah, that's fine with me, because that means I'll be making a lot of money doing something else.
But you are right. Not everything lends itself to being made in America. Soft goods, labor intense, forget it. Assembly operations doesn't work.
Hey, Mark, was there any specific items that ran you into saying, oh my God, I got to just do this in the US? I mean, I know that you've run into some logistical stuff. Was there anything that really pushed you over the edge?
Yeah, it's called 54 containers stuck in the West Coast, and I delivered them for Christmas in February, and I'm upside down for $1 million. Any other questions?
Wow, that's a good reason.
Yeah, guess what? The only guy now I'm pissed off. I don't have an American flag behind me.
I'm gonna buy you one.
Please send it down. Send it parcel post.
The funny part about it is this one's made in China.
Okay.
No, I'm only kidding.
Mine's not.
Listen, I'm going to tell you a story, and this is a true story. So help me God. I did garden flags for a major retailer. You know what a garden flag is? Like for every holiday, right?
Yeah.
And I actually had the balls to make an American flag in China and send it. Sat on the shelf. Nobody would touch it. Nobody would touch. They'll buy all, happy St. Patrick's Day and Easter and all kinds of bullshit and all the rest of them. Every single one sold like hotcakes. The American flag would not touch. There was an American flag right on the end cap, and it was made in America, and it was 3 times the price, and they didn't give a shit. When it comes to the flag, they don't want to play ball. Wow. And I learned that the hard way. I ate it all. But it was very interesting that the American flag made in China is like sacrilegious. You can't do that shit.
Isn't that funny? I'll tell you another funny story. We were looking at patio furniture, and my wife said, we're not buying anything unless it's made in the U.S. It's okay. So you anywhere you go look down in Carolina, there's nothing made in the U.S. You can't find anything. So I did eventually found a company, but it was ironic that the company I picked, the quality was great. The service was great. It's a little expensive, but I mean, it really is beautiful. So when we were at the patio dealership, the guy was, doing his sales pitch, and Brandy was just drilling him on where's it made. He couldn't even tell us where it was made, how long it took. And she's like, dude, how are you selling this? I'm asking you like basic questions. You're asking for a lot of money. You can't give me some simple answers. I'm like, dude, this might not be the business for you. You might want to think about doing something else. That might have been a career-ending discussion she had with him.
That's great. That's great. I mean, I'm surprised you found it made in America. I mean, patio set.
I mean,
But
it was quite a while though. It was like a 12 to 16 week lead time.
yeah,
And
but
so I
it's
had ordered it early summer. I got it in fall, and it was. I mean, I'm happy I did. It's really great stuff. But I told Carmine they just need someone like me to cut that process down. It was, I mean, 12 to 16 weeks, because you people want to go buy furniture and buy it right away. They don't want to wait 12.
The
to 16
summer's
weeks.
over.
well,
I mean,
16 weeks.
essentially, I was buying it for the fall, really, in early
You got to
summer.
buy it in a snowstorm to get it for the summer. Think
You got a
about
good
it.
deal, good
Yeah,
discount.
yeah.
So,
Listen,
Mark, walk us through maybe some real life experience. Walk us through a product that you launched and just talk about. I mean, not every product ever goes smoothly. There's a lot of bumps and a lot of different in a lot of the processes and products you launch. So talk about one where you had a little
The
bit of
hurt
that.
skirt.
Yeah.
okay.
Okay.
You like her? Okay, you like her skirt? Hold on.
This is an awesome story, Chris, because this is a perfect example of what Mark does. When he sees a product, he goes all in.
Yeah.
So this guy, I was doing an appearance up in Boston. This guy came in, and this was in a live pitching. So he walks in, and he's got a cooler bag, right? And he's pitching the cooler bag, and I'm thinking to myself, we need another cooler bag. Like I need a third testicle. You know what I mean? So he's getting done with the pitch. He's doing. And all of a sudden, he pulls this out of his bag and he says, "Oh, and this is to keep the bottles of wine cold in the bag." So I was, and by the way, it also you can freeze it, and if you have a bad elbow, a bad knee, a bad foot, and it goes on, and it's by the way, side note, it's patented. I said, "Dude, are you shitting me right now? Serious? Get rid of the bag, and we're gonna make this hurt skirt." And he came to me after trying it somewhere else, and it was, oh my God, it was a shit show. But I got on top of it. I got it remanufactured. We went through certain things that I had to do, and now the thing is taken off like a banshee. Hurtskirt.com. But we're gonna launch it into the wine business. I mean, but this was a great one and a perfect example of the guy came in and showed me oranges, but it was the apples that were phenomenal, and we went after it. So that's a good one, Carmine. Actually,
and a key note that I want to bring up there is that the inventor, the guy that was showing it to you, listened to what you had to say. A lot of these guys don't. They think they know it, and they haven't been involved long enough. They haven't launched it. They don't understand what the risks they're taking. So having somebody listen to your expertise is equally as important as having a good product.
Well, side note is the guy is a phenomenal guy. His demeanor is excellent. He listens per what you just said, and he's an excellent partner. So in that regard, I had no problem dealing with him on a very regular basis. And we're still making changes to this day in the packaging. He's changing to a flexible packaging. But the point that you were making, Chris, is he listened. He's a good guy. It was just good business on top of the invention.
Yeah, but Mark, the thing is, he listened, but you could have taken advantage of him so easily by saying, "Oh yeah, we'll make that hurt skirt. We'll make that too." But really, that's what you told him right out. This is the deal. This is the product. You didn't have to do that.
But just so you know, on total transparency, he held on to the bag. He still thinks it's great. I said, don't say bag to me ever again. Don't talk to me about bag. Don't say bag. And it's called the hula cooler, and he loves it, and blah, blah, blah. I'm like, dude, do me a favor. Go make $1 million with the fucking bag. I want this. This is what I wanted. And it comes in cool. And we're going to blow it up. It's going to be absolutely tremendous. They've partnered with the National Arthritis Foundation, like really, really big stuff. And it's coming. Yeah, so
this is good. This is good stuff. So Carmine, we're going to do quite a few of these with Mark, both on this show and the UIA show. And I want to close out a little bit talking about American dreams. I bring that up because I know Mark's worked with Damon John, right? And Damon is my partner now, and Judy's partner with the Super Potty Trainer. The dude is really, I can't say enough good things about him. Guy is absolutely amazing. Even when My father just recently passed away. Damon just called to say anything you need, whatever you need from me, you let me know. And then he wrote an email following up saying, hey, I just let you know, I'm dead serious. Whatever you need from me, I'm right here for you.
Wow.
And that goes a long way. The little things, right, go a long way. So talk about that a little bit, because you were around some pretty cool people.
In that regard, it's money is shit.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, being a good human being and offering yourself, but truly offering yourself to be there. People say all the time, if there's anything I can do, please let me know. And you're like, oh yeah, no, go get me a quart of milk. And they're like, fuck you, I ain't getting no quart of milk. But so it's the sincerity is the deal. And if you mean it and you say it, I say it to Carmine all the time. Carmine, you need anything, you give me a call. He gave me a call, and you gave me a call. I'm right here.
Yeah,
okay?
well, I don't want to cut you off, Mark. But what's funny is he's totally exact, because I had a client, I had an inventor email me out of the blue, like we always get. All of us get these emails. He said his dream was to talk with Marc Portney. Boom! I text Mark. Mark calls me. We're on the phone with that inventor within 5 minutes. The guy almost fainted.
But I said, if you need anything, Carmine, to call me, and that's really it. Damon was on American Dreams with me. I only met him a couple of times. I don't have the intimate relationship that you have with him. So, I mean, we did Moe's Bows. I wore a bow tie on HSN one time. Nice guy. I don't really know him that well, but it was a lot of fun. But
it seemed like a pretty cool experience, right? Because you were around some pretty cool people.
Yeah, no, it's American Dreams was great. I mean, really what it was we were giving inventors the opportunity. If I saw something I liked, I had the opportunity to bring it right to the executive tower and then push it right through on the air. They didn't have to have sales. They didn't have to have anything. They had to have product. So we could take things that weren't even that far along, but as long as I could bring the inventory, we could put it on in front of 96 million people. And that was the coolest part of the experience. Forget about the people and all that other stuff. What I thought was somebody like you met Judy, and if you could see the minute you meet her and you see it, you could say, hey, you know what? I may have something for you. Hold on right there. And bring it to HSN and actually put it right on the air and have Judy come on with the item and yourself and get a real kick out of it. And that's an experience that people don't ever forget. And that's the important stuff.
Yeah, that's huge. I mean, I always say the audience, you can get an audience. I was on Good Morning America and some of these other big platforms where all of these people are watching, millions of people. It's just, I mean, Carmine saw the night of Shark Tank. Emails were just like orders. I mean, it couldn't keep up. It just, I mean, we were ready. We had inventory. We had everything all set up. So it was instant. But I can imagine and even when we sold out, we had to put the tool back in, so we never missed a beat. But I couldn't even imagine if you had to wait for crates and other things that you have no control over, the stress level. Because I talked to Judy Edwards a lot from Squatty Potty, and she said the first 3 months after she aired on Shark Tank, it was the worst 3 months of her life. She was under that much stress.
Be careful
for different reasons, right?
Be careful what you wish for. You might get it.
Yeah, exactly.
Dude, be careful, man. Just craft those dreams carefully, because you might be sorry.
Yeah, you got to have the right team.
How does everyone find you? Where can we find you? And if somebody wants to show you some of the products.
MarcPortney.com. MarcPortney.com. Simple as can be. Click on the submission button, submit, and you'll hear from us, positive or negative. You'll hear from me and my team. But I promise you, Chris, I look at every single submission myself. Every single one. There's not one that gets submitted that I don't look at.
I appreciate that. I'm the same way. So this is great, Carmine. We're going to do this on a regular basis. And I think we're just going to continue to offer all this real world, real life. I mean, this is not like somebody talking about something that they want to do. This is like real life. People who actually did it and have been successful doing it.
Make $1 million with my pitch schemes.
Oh, dude, I get it all. You have no idea what I get, man. I'm just like, I have 100 ideas. I just need 5 minutes of your time on the phone. And I'm like, hey, asswipe, take the best idea and pitch it to me. I don't need the other 99. You write one time and you got it. So
Yeah.
what are you telling me about 100 ideas? You need 100 hours to tell me 100 ideas. You're trying to trick me. You're trying to get me on the phone. I'm too slick for that. I'm 60 years old. You're not gonna fucking bamboozle me. So just let's call it a day.
Yeah, no doubt.
All right,
So
cool.
funny.
All right.
All right, man. Awesome stuff.
Great.
We're going to
Thanks
close up
having
for
me. I really
today.
appreciate it. Thank you.
Yeah, we appreciate having you on.
Great. All you listeners out there, if you do have some questions for us, or you would like to send in some questions that we could ask Marc next time he's on, or of our other guests, send them on in, and we will make sure we move them over, or maybe we'll ask the questions on our show. I thank you for listening to the Launch Network of the Made in America show with Ms. Christopher Guerrera. And if you get a chance, please make sure that you like and subscribe to our page. And we will catch you next time. You all take care.